So, what are the core practices that are involved in caring for women who have diabetes during pregnancy? So, this entirely in toto includes both type 1, type 2 diabetes and also GDM. But before this, I would want to tell you just one small thing. So, when we talk about diabetes in pregnancy, let us understand what is the incidence or how prevalent is GDM or hyperglycemia in pregnancy as such. Let us understand that at least 1 in 6 live births, is my screen visible? Okay, 1 in 6 live births is affected by diabetes during pregnancy, which is a lot actually. That is the whole reason why diabetes in pregnancy, hypertensive disorder in pregnancy, you cannot afford to skip these two topics and start appear for your exam. Pre-eclampsia chahe 10 baar pad lo, you will always, whenever you listen to a new lecture or by another faculty, or you read the guidelines, there is always something new which comes up in this. You know, you'll always be surprised ki ye to maine last time padha hi nahi tha. So revise these topics as many times as you can and from as many places as you can. Is affected during pregnancy. So let us understand a little basic, that is diabetes mellitus in pregnancy can be a pre-existing type of diabetes which is of further type 1, type 2 and pre-gestational diabetes mellitus, which is not categorized as type 1 or type 2. Then there is a condition which is overall classified as hyperglycemia in pregnancy. See, many PGs, I understand they have a confusion. The basic most confusion is अगर फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर फास्टिंग ब्लड ग्लूकोज पे किसी पेशेंट का 98 आ गया, whether to classify it as gestational diabetes or whether to label that patient as type 2 diabetes or not. So many PGs are always confused with the definition, with the terminology that they should label that patient with. So any unclassified patient or any RBS which is found to be increased for the first time in pregnancy is always labeled as hyperglycemia in pregnancy, unless you know that the patient is already a pre-existing diabetes. From hyperglycemia in pregnancy, you can further classify the patient as GDM or type 1, type 2 and other. Yeah, hyperglycemia in pregnancy label karne ke baad you can label whether it is a GDM or type 1, type 2, or the patient is already a known case of pre-existing. So hyperglycemia in pregnancy is a blanket cover which helps you label the patient until you are able to classify by further diagnostic methods. Okay, so what, like about GDM, this was a OSCE question with respect to GDM. Please take this down, take a note of this. So we all know this increases the risk of type 2 diabetes after childbirth. Like in the pregnant woman, every woman who has had GDM has an increased risk of type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, none of the above or either of the above. So it is increased risk of type 2 diabetes after childbirth. So this was not the OSCE question. The question that was asked, what is the increased cumulative incidence? So now everybody asks figures, right? People know the PGs are smart, they all read and come. So they tend to ask more tougher questions to categorize the smarter PGs. So to understand the cumulative incidence, usually my handwriting is not this good, cumulative incidence is up to 70% 28 years after pregnancy. This is the latest most data available on cumulative incidence, which is from the last up till 2022 and it has been given in the 2025 guideline as well. So this is the latest most data available and you should understand this. See, the reason why I told you I would not want to discuss theoretical part of diabetes, pathophysiology of GDM and how it affects the mother, how it affects the baby, you know all of that. It's just going to be a revision. Just briefly, let us see pregnancy related complications of diabetes. So any kind of pregnancy related complications of any kind of medical associated condition should always be classified as maternal complications, fetal complications, and neonatal complications, right? So can you enlist some of the maternal pregnancy related conditions associated with diabetes mellitus? A GDM or a diabetic mother is more prone to what other conditions in pregnancy? I want answers in the chat box, please. Those who attend my lectures, they know I have a lot of patience of sitting and waiting for your answers to come. Poly, PPROM, chorioamnionitis, UTI, retinopathy, neuropathy, yes. Other than that, what else? What else? I want others also to preterm, yes. Instrumentation, poly, choreo, PPROM, UTI, yes. More answers. Absolutely right, instrumental delivery. So, PPH, yes. I'm looking for one particular answer. Preeclampsia, very good, Dr. Bhavani. So, diabetic ketoacidosis, absolutely right. Preeclampsia and diabetes GDM go hand in hand to the extent that if they ask what is the increased associated pregnancy associated complications of preeclampsia, GDM comes on top. Pregnancy associated complications in GDM, preeclampsia comes on top. Okay, so it goes like that. That's my little one crying down there. Right, preeclampsia, hypertension, stillbirth, macrosomia, hypoglycemia, and also hyperglycemia, or as somebody has correctly mentioned, DKA. Seizures also, yes. So any patient who presents with first time seizure episodes in pregnancy, do check their glucose levels. Birth injury to mother. Next, fetal complications. As you all know, what are the possible fetal complications? Anyone? Can you please enlist a few for me? And also the complications that have been observed in children. Fetal, I want you all to write preterm macrosomia. Can also be IUD macrosomia anomalies. Yes. So increased risk of anomalies, congenital anomalies. So if we get into the theoretical detail ki HbA1c levels ye hai, pre-existing HbA1c level ye hai, this percentage of risk, all that is a theoretical lecture which we will skip for now. This can be covered in subsequent detailed theoretical lectures. Macrosomia, you all are right. Can there be FGR in diabetes? Hypoglycemic dyselectrolytemia, congenital anomalies, HOCM, sacral agenesis, yes. Long-term diabetes. Dr. Saima, very good. So that is in children, increased risk of, yes, very good, Sindhu. Associated preeclampsia, if GDM and preeclampsia happen together, they can cause a lot of vasculopathy, which can result in FGR. All right. Now, in children, if you see, they have increased risk of obesity. They have cardiovascular system problems. They can have metabolic syndrome. They can have type 2 diabetes mellitus. Later on, they can develop hypertension. They can also be prone to fatty liver disease later on in their life. What is, does anybody know anything interesting? See, I think many of the ultrasounds of 35, 38, 40-year-old women who comes to you with generalized pain, abdomen, vague symptoms in the OPD facility, the usual tendency of the radiologist is कि ultrasound findings में आपको क्या क्या मिलता है. एक bulky uterus लिख देते हैं ये लोग, ठीक है. एक लिख देते हैं grade 1 fatty liver. एक the other very common finding is PCOD and another grade 1 fatty liver, and the other common finding is mild free fluid in pelvis. Do you know, very interestingly, something out of the box that you're talking, ये सारे combination is called as a great metabolic syndrome, and 50% of hysterectomies in India happen because of these. this classical picture of ultrasound, you won't believe, I am a freelancing lab surgeon. I get so many people sending me reports on WhatsApp, and this is a deadly combination, and 50% of these women undergo hysterectomy, even if they're less than 40 years. No symptoms, nothing, balki uterus se uda do. That is the reason why Government of India has launched, and along with Foxy has launched, a Save the Uterus campaign. Is anybody aware of Save the Uterus campaign by Government of India? Anyone knows about it? No? So let's come to the, yes. Good, you all should be knowing about it, and you should all be active in this. So recommendations coming to the adult audit is being done. Yes, cesarean hysterectomy audits are being conducted, but actually on the ground level, people are just taking audits, and real reduction is not there. So core practice, what now coming to the WHO guidelines. Ab WHO ने नया क्या बोला in 2025 on the World Diabetes Day? Can anybody tell me to be greater than 40 years? And what if a woman has to undergo hysterectomy less than 40 years? Dr. Ruchika Puri, can you tell me what is the protocol? How to get, if a woman less than 40 years wants to undergo a hysterectomy, what is the guideline for that? It should be life-saving, yes. What else? What else? You need, जैसे MTP में आ गया ना, 2 gynecologists का recommendation. So if a woman less than 40 years has to undergo hysterectomy, she needs consultations from 2 gynecologists stating clearly causing daily life discomfort is a minor factor, 2 gynec stating that it is a failed medical management, and the woman has been receiving medical treatment for more than 6 months, which is failed, and wants to opt for hysterectomy herself. And preferably such a hysterectomy which is less than 40 should be done on a medical college or a government institution. Itne sare rules hai usme, that audit whichever has come up. So yes, government is doing some good work there. So now coming back to the WHO guidelines, which is the core practice in caring for women with diabetes during pregnancy. Let us begin one by one. What do they say? Taking back to only guidelines reviews, उसमें क्या क्या बोला? Advice on diet, physical activity and weight management. So WHO has given weight management, dietary advice, physical activity for the general population, which has now been extrapolated to diabetes also. Let us see one by one. So for pregnant women with type 1, type 2 or gestational diabetes, they have provided individualized advice. Now the WHO says you should have individualized advice on diet, physical activity and weight management based on, now abhi individualized advice, this is the core word that has come up. तो आपको बस अभी words पकड़ने. I'm just going to make you rote learn this whole guideline in the next 30 minutes. So stick with me. So there are dietary advice in that which has come from, there's a dietary advice which is there for general adult population. Now physical advice and weight management ka. Weight management. All of this has to keep in mind appropriate gestational weight gain recommended for pregnancy. ये सारा जनरल पॉपुलेशन का जो गाइडलाइन ऑलरेडी दिया है WHO ने, उसको they have extrapolated or individualized according to the recommended weight gain which is appropriate for that pregnancy. So this was the first guidance that came. Second came on antenatal education. So second point of the guideline talks, first was diet, physical activity, weight management. Second is about antenatal education. For pregnant women with type 1, type 2 or gestation diabetes, provide education on. किस points पे education देने के लिए बोला WHO ने? Number 1, effect of diabetes in pregnancy. It is all common, you know it. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है that today you are not going to learn anything new, but you are going to learn in a systematic manner what WHO is saying in the latest guideline. क्या awareness उनको बढ़ाना है अभी. So on maternal, fetal, newborn and child health. We saw in the beginning of the lecture, right? So what is the effect of diabetes in pregnancy on these things? You have to educate that woman. Antenatal education is must. Again, second is diet and physical activity. Third is about appropriate gestational weight gain. There will be a lot of repetitive target HbA1c, yes, less than 6%. No, it's not exactly less than 6. I'll come to that. Fourth is managing glycemia. 6 is too less a target. That is like a non-diabetic range. Next is need for additional monitoring of fetal growth and well-being. तो 4 points पे education देना है आपको patient को. The patient who has come to you now, if you start practicing this WHO guideline in your day-to-day OPD, you will remember it. First, you are talking about diet, physical activity, weight management. Second, you are educating the patient about the effect of diabetes in pregnancy, diet and physical activity, appropriate weight gain that she should have, managing the glycemic control. Fourth is need for monitoring fetal growth and well-being. Third point that they talked about was about specialized care. Now, what comes under this specialized care? They said, for pregnant women with type 1, type 2 or gestation diabetes, deliver a multidisciplinary and specialized care by healthcare providers who are trained in both, मतलब obs भी होना चाहिए plus diabetes, endocrine. So you have to give a multidisciplinary care. That is the specialized care that they want to offer. The fourth point, there are 2 points under the specialized care. The fourth point is for women with GDM. This was about type 1 and type 2 wale mein you have to involve an endocrinologist. You have to refer on your OPD paper endocrine consultation. Only to women with type 1, type 2. For women who have GDM alone, for women with GDM, you can consider multidisciplinary care and specialized care trained in maternal diabetes depending on the access and availability. So it is a very, very thin line. जो type 1, type 2 diabetes वाले हैं, you have to offer them an endocrine consultation. For GDM, if it is depending on availability and accessibility, or the gynec can manage that patient herself. Availability and accessibility. Clear to all of you? Any doubts till now? Any confusion you have? Coming to the next heading that they gave under this guideline, second was about glucose monitoring. How much glucose monitoring is required? Because I think every hospital has their own SOPs. The seniors teach their juniors their own protocols कि ऐसे करना है वैसे करना है, but nobody clearly knows what the guidelines say. So what are the modes of glucose monitoring? Let us understand this. The fifth point that comes under this glucose monitoring is that for all of them, that is type 1, I'm writing 1, 2, GDM, type 1, type 2 and GDM. This is the code word that I'll be writing now throughout. So they recommend, it is recommended self-monitoring, SMBG. They recommend self-monitoring of blood glucose in addition to routine care. Wherever feasible, offer a self-monitoring of blood glucose to all of them. Clear? Sixth point is, for patients who have type 1 diabetes, recommend the use of a continuous glucose monitoring system. CGM is continuous. Have any of you seen a continuous glucose monitoring system in your hospital? I have seen those, they have those monitors attached. One of my uncle also has it attached. Continuous glucose monitoring system where feasible. Have any of you seen how it works, what it says? So coming to point 7, that is for patients, this was for type 1 diabetes. Now for type 2 or GDM, they do not routinely recommend CGM. So one thing is clear, you have to give self-monitoring blood glucose to all the patients, SMBG to all, टाइप 1 को CGM, टाइप 2 और GDM को नहीं देने की जरूरत. क्लियर? Are you all clear till now? Third point that I want next for under glucose monitoring is the target HbA1c, which somebody has just now mentioned in the chat box about glycated HbA1c. So be very clear, for patients with type 1 or type 2, it should be capillary blood glucose, or venous sample. So SMBG is always a capillary blood glucose levels. Venous samples, it is very invasive. You can't keep doing all of that all the time. SMBG, जो continuous glucose monitoring system होता है, it detects an intravascular glucose levels only. So that is most sensitive is continuous glucose monitoring that detects. So for pregnancy with type 1 or type 2, what guidelines recommend is that you should measure HbA1c in first trimester or as soon as ANC, antenatal care, is initiated. For type 1, type 2 diabetes, at the first very antenatal visit or the first trimester, get a HbA1c done. Next is for women with GDM. HbA1c is not routinely measured. There is no role. Now glycemic targets. If we see what are the targets for each one of them, for women with type 1, type 2 or GDM, individualize glycemic targets to optimize glycemic control and also to improve maternal and neonatal outcomes. So now the targets, if you talk about target HbA1c, it is individualized now. We'll come to the actual targets also, but this is what the guideline has come up with.